everyone! In this Ready to Craft, I'll show you how I cleaned up my paint drawer by creating a custom organizer. I began by getting the measurements of my drawer. I want to make sure that the organizer fits in. I'm going to measure and cut my base first. Next, I'm going to work on my sides. I first cut down the height and will then trim down the edges to match my base. Because my shorter sides match my base exactly, I will need to make the longer ones slightly shorter. This is to make sure that the two longer pieces will fit inside the other edges. I'll test the piece before moving on. It's still a little long, so I'll trim that down. I've got all my sides prepared and my glue gun ready. Once I've placed my side, I'm going to run my finger along the edge to smooth out any globs of glue. I've used this glue gun enough to become familiar with how hot the glue comes out. Please take precautions to make sure that you don't burn yourself. Repeat for the other sides. I'm going to run some glue into the corners, similar to how I did in our planter Ready to Craft video. This is how the grid pieces will look. I found my center point and measured outward. Then I took into account the thickness of the boards and marked those off as well. My sides are 4 inches tall, so I made the notches 2 inches long. I'm including some images of how I figured out how many sections I would need. I lined up my paint bottles along the length and width of my drawer to see how many I could reasonably fit. I used the grid pieces I measured as a template to cut the remaining. If you wanted to be more precise, you could measure each one individually. I cut the bottom of the slots first by pushing my hobby knife blade through the foam. Be very careful and make sure your fingers are out of harm's way. Afterwards, I cut the sides of the slots, starting my blade in the cut I'd already made. Now just work the pieces out of their spot. I'm going to test my slots with a piece of scrap foam. The second one will need to be trimmed a little. Sometimes my cuts aren't at a perfect 90-degree angle, which affects how the pieces fit in. It's an easy fix to just cut a small amount off. All my pieces are finally cut out. Now I'll assemble. As you can see, it takes a little adjusting here and there to get all the pieces to fall into place. I'm just testing to make sure my paint fits well, and I will be able to pull it out without any trouble. Now that my grid is put together, it's time to insert it into the box I made. I used a styrofoam primer to cover up the exposed foam edges. This is to protect it from the regular paint spray that I decided to use. I've painted my box. You can see I didn't concentrate on getting paint on the interior of the grid. I'm going for a graffiti-inspired look, so I'm going to let it be a little messy. I've placed a piece of board that is smaller than my base beneath it. This keeps the edges of the box off the bottom. I'm thinning down some acrylic paint with water. You may have to use more or less depending on the viscosity of your paints. I'm going to use a soft paintbrush and load it with a lot of paint. Then simply drag it along the edge and let the paint drip down. Repeat the steps for any additional colors. Now that my drips are dried, I'm going to prop up my project. I'm going to go over everything with a clear gloss. Not only will it make it look nice, but it will also help to protect it. I like to load quite a bit onto my brush. Try not to go over sections you've already applied gloss to. My completed organizer is shiny and ready for my paint. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you make your own organizer, we'd love to see it. Our social media links can be found in the description. Be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with more Ready to Craft videos.